Hey boys and girls, getting down to the end here. So we only have about a week and a little bit left, and so we're going to knock out these AP College Board questions because these are the ones that I've been told are the outlines for what might be on the AP. And there's only 2 questions, so we don't know what's going to be on there. And so if I just assign these, you get the answers. This one has the answers on it down here. But I'm going to make sure that I explain it in great detail so that you can make sure that once you take the AP, you're ready, okay? So this right here, let's get that out of the way. So here's the problem right here. So you have a PDF of this. So try and do it as much as you can. This is very similar to what it's going to be like. So it gives you some stuff, and then it tells you some stuff, and then it says, please respond on a separate paper. So that's essentially what you're going to do, just like you've been doing. You're going to write all of your work on a separate sheet of paper and then upload it, just like you have been doing for this class, okay? So we're going to practice that also coming up on the AP website. But right now we're just going to do it here, all right? This is great to practice, and so let's see where we're at. So we have the graph of f and the graph of f prime, and so it says the graph of f and the derivative of f between -1 and 4. So between -1 and 4, yep, between -1 and 4. Okay, so see if you can do A, B, C, and D. Okay, the answers are down here if you want, if you just keep flipping, and then you can just unpause it and see my explanations. All right, ready, set, go. Yeah, all right, here you go. So A, find the average rate of change of f over the interval -1 to 4. For how many values of x in the interval -1 to 4 does the instantaneous rate of change of f equal the average rate of change over that interval? Okay, so average rate of change is just a slope. So you have -1, -2 is one of your points. So let's write all this stuff down. So here's my stuff. So is the average rate of change on this, so A. So we got x and f of x, bam. So you have -1 and -2, that's the first point. Okay, what's the second point? 4 and 1. Or you can count on this, actually, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 3/5. So you can count on the actual graph. Or 4, 1. So that's 3/5. So the average rate of change is 3/5. So that's part A. But it's not done. Does it say is the instantaneous rate of change equal to 3/5 at all on this function? So I'm looking at this. And so the instantaneous rate of change. So where is the slope 3/5? Well, you can't really tell on here because this is the graph of f, but here you can. 3/5 would be between 0 and 1, right? So like here would be 3/5 because f prime is the slope, the instantaneous slope. So it'd be right here and then right here. So it'd be these 2 parts. So it'd be here and about here. So that would be 2 parts. I'm seeing 3/5 for the slope or instantaneous rate of change. And so the instantaneous rate of change will equal the average rate of change, which is 3/5 twice on this interval. Bam. On, you could say. So this is part A. So you need this and this. Cool. All right. Part B. I want a tangent line at x equals 1. All right. Part B. I'm going to do it down here. Tangent line. So we need a point and we need the slope. Then I can do it. Okay. So I want at x equals 1. So I want the point and the slope. So I got to go back to the fun stuff right here. So at x equals 1, the point is 2. At x equals 1, the point is 2. Okay. So I got 1, bam, the point is 2. And now what's the slope at 1? Let's see if we can find it. The slope at 1. Here's 1 right here. That would be -2. Yeah, -2. So I have -2. Bam. So that'd be -2. So y minus 2 equals negative 2 times the quantity x minus 1. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. All right, now we do in C. So it says find the limit as x approaches 2 of this, and the limit as x approaches 3 of this. So what is this actually? This is actually a derivative. Why is this a derivative? Because you're taking 2 points, whatever x is, and you're bringing it close together. This is actually the slope. So this is change in y, which is f of x, right? Change in y over change in x. And if x equals 2, approaching 2, really, really, really close to it, that's making these 2 points that we're finding the slope of really, really, really close together. So this is actually the slope. And you can also do it this way. Like if you put in 2, you get 0 over 0, and then use L'Hopital's rule, and you get f prime over 1. You find the derivative, so it's f prime over 1, so you're finding the derivative anyway. So if you didn't see that, you just use L'Hopital's rule, and you're good. Okay, so this is saying what is the slope or derivative at 2, and what's the slope or derivative at 3? That's all it's saying. The slope at 2 is 1. And the slope at 3 does not exist. There is no point here. Oh my goodness. So the slope at 2 is 1, and this does not exist. Got it. All right. Now, last but not least, D. So it gives you this G function, which is separate from the graphs we had, is e to the x f of x, and you want G prime of 0. All right. That's what we want. So let's get G prime of x first, shall we? So this is, I can find the derivative of this and the derivative of this, so I'm going to use product rule. So write down the first, derivative of the second, plus write down the second, derivative of the first. Derivative of e to the x is e to the x times the derivative of the exponent, which is 1, which doesn't really matter because you multiply something by 1, don't matter. So now I'm going to find G prime of 0, which is e to the 0 f prime of 0 plus f of 0 e to the 0. Now e to the 0 is just 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. And so 1 times anything itself, so I can sort of ignore these. So it's just the derivative at 0 plus the point at 0. That's all I'm looking at. Okay. So the point at 0, the derivative is 0, it's something like that and something like that. What's it say down here? For the answer is 3 plus 1. So the derivative at 0 is 3, yeah, and the point is 1. Yep, we're good. 3 plus 1. Boop. So this would be 1 plus 3, which is 4. There you go. So sometimes, like, even when I do these, I check the answers like that just to make sure I know what's going on and just to confirm what I'm doing is right. So it's okay to check the answers. That's always good. So now I know what it was asking for, and now I know that I'm right, and so I'm good. Okay? Great job, everybody. If there's any of these you really need to redo, go ahead and redo. If you need to go over what instantaneous rate of changes, go over that, tangent lines, whatever you need, okay? Great job, everybody. Take care.